I am so happy to be here with you all today. I'm Dr. Susan Beck. I'm the Chief Science Officer at NeoLife, and I'm also a member of the Scientific Advisory Board. And today I'm going to talk about how to supercharge your health with NeoLife's products for 2025. I want to make sure you all are set up for an incredible year ahead. Let me just tell you just a little bit about me. I have a PhD in nutritional science. I'm a certified nutrition specialist. I am a Chinese medical doctor in the United States. I have an expertise in European and Ayurvedic medicines. I have created over 300 products in my career, ranging from dietary supplements to skincare to foods and beverages and even pet food. And I am so happy to have found a home at NeoLife. Now, I always say that Pro Vitality and NeoLife Shake are foundational. If you do nothing else, take Pro Vitality and NeoLife Shake. Here's a few reasons why. Pro Vitality and NeoLife Shake provide antioxidants and fruit and vegetable extracts, healthy fats, high quality protein, fiber, and both products have clinical trials proving that they work. So, for example, carotenoid complex in Pro Vitality has a clinical trial showing that it boosts the immune system within 30 days. Our salmon oil plus, which is also in Pro Vitality, a lot of people also refer to it as omega-3s, has a clinical trial that shows that it helps balance inflammation in the body. And our NeoLife Shake has a clinical trial that shows that it helps people lose weight. Now, today, I'm going to talk about specifically gut health, weight loss, and stress reduction. And my recommendation is that you add these 4 products on top of Pro Vitality and NeoLife Shake. These 4 products are our fiber tablets, Vegan D, Magnesium Complex, and Botanical Balance. Now, let's start with talking about stress and the effects of chronic stress. We all know that the more stressed out we are, just stress makes everything worse in our lives. But stress also increases the risk of heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. Now, what exactly is stress? Stress is our body's reaction to any physical or psychological challenge. People can experience stress as a physical threat, like you almost get hit by a bus, or you almost get into a car accident on the way to work. People can also experience stress as a psychological threat, like you're worried about your relationship, or a deadline at work, or finances, or your kids. Why do we even have stress? Stress can actually have a positive effect if it's short-lived. It can keep us safe when we're in danger. The stress response is the fight or flight response. And a simple way to think about this is imagining that we are on the African savanna hunting for food. And while we're hunting for food, we encounter a lion. That's when our fight or flight stress response kicks in, because it's either going to help us fight the lion or flee the lion. And in order to fight or flee, our bodies undergo profound physiological changes. Our bodies release something called stress hormones when we're faced with a life and death situation, including adrenaline and cortisol. This is what the stress hormones do. This is the effect they have on the body. They cause us to breathe more quickly so we can get more oxygen to our muscles so we can fight harder or run faster. The stress hormones increase our heart rate, so it pumps more blood to our muscles, again, to help us with either fighting or fleeing. The brain, our bodies send more glucose or more sugar to the brain. Our senses become heightened, we become hypervigilant, so we can respond more quickly to the situation. Now, stress can be life-saving. So, especially if we survive the lion. Ideally, after a life or death experience, then our bodies return to an emotional and a physical balance. In the modern world, we're not usually getting chased by a lion. It just feels like we are. But instead, our body, if we're under chronic stress, which most of us are, then our body thinks we're in a continuous life or death situation. And that chronic stress and worry will result in a steady supply of stress hormones. And in the long run, constant stress and a steady stream of these stress hormones leads to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and obesity. Also, the bad news is when we're under a lot of stress, the research shows that we tend to eat fatty, sugary comfort foods. And these fatty, sugary foods make the effects of stress worse because these fatty, sugary foods increase the risk of weight gain, heart disease, and diabetes. Also, the bad news of being under chronic stress is we're under a heightened sense of alertness. We're hypervigilant. We're always looking for danger. And this causes our body and our mind to become exhausted. And also, stress hormones interfere with sleep patterns, which further increases our exhaustion. So the solution is good nutrition. We need better nutrition when we're under a lot of stress because our body's metabolic needs have increased. So a good diet and supplements are key to fighting the effects of chronic stress. So for example, Pro Vitality and NeoLife Shake provide antioxidants and healthy fat and protein and fiber. And then these three products, Vegan D, Magnesium Complex, and Botanical Balance, also reduce stress. And I'm going to explain how they reduce stress. So when we're under constant stress, it depletes the body of magnesium. When we take magnesium supplements, even if we don't change anything else in our life, the magnesium supplements will help decrease the amount of stress hormones that our body produces just by taking the magnesium. Also, magnesium regulates blood sugar. And there's lots of studies that show that when people are deficient in magnesium, it increases their risk of diabetes. Magnesium regulates blood pressure, which we need because chronic stress makes our heart beat faster, which makes our blood pressure increase. And also, magnesium helps to increase energy levels. Magnesium is involved in hundreds of enzymatic pathways in the body. And when we don't have enough magnesium, then we're exhausted, we're fatigued. Stress also depletes vitamin D. And again, if you do nothing else, but you take vitamin D along with magnesium, the vitamin D and magnesium will decrease the stress hormones that your body's releasing, even if you don't change anything else. Also, vitamin D regulates blood sugar. And studies show that vitamin D supplementation helps prevent the risk of having a cardiovascular event like a heart attack later on in life. So vitamin D helps support heart health. And vitamin D also increases energy levels. And the way it does this is that it supports mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell. And mitochondria are what create energy in our body. And so taking vitamin D supplements makes sure that our mitochondria are working more efficiently and giving us more energy. Now, botanical balance we know as regulating blood sugar. But cinnamon extract also reduces stress hormones. So again, if you change nothing in your life, you're under chronic stress, you change nothing in your life, and you take magnesium and the vitamin D and botanical balance, the cinnamon in addition to the vitamin D and magnesium will decrease the amount of stress hormones that your body is producing. Also, botanical balance supports healthy blood sugar. It supports healthy glucose levels in the body. And when we support healthy blood sugar, then we're supporting our heart. Regulating blood sugar helps our hearts be healthier. So again, in the long run, constant stress and a steady stream of stress hormones will lead to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity. And these three products in addition to ProVitality and NeoLife Shake, are your arsenal to help reduce stress and the toxic effects of chronic stress. Now, I'm going to talk about gut health and the gut microbiome. And you're going to notice that 3 out of the 4 products that I'm going to talk about, we just talked about for chronic stress. We just talked about vegan D, magnesium complex, and botanical balance. Well, NeoLife's products are extremely versatile, and they work on different levels in the body to make us healthy. So these 3 products, botanical balance, magnesium complex, and vegan D, along with our fiber tablets, help improve our gut health. They help improve our gut microbiome. What is our gut microbiome? Our gut microbiome is a community of healthy microorganisms. It's a community of bacteria, viruses, fungi, all good ones, that live in our gut, live in our mouth, live in our skin. Our body is made up of 57% microorganisms and 43% human cells. So I like to say we're only 43% human because we're mostly made up of these microorganisms, these healthy microorganisms. Now, why is our microbiome important? It has many different functions. It helps with weight reduction. It helps prevent chronic illnesses like heart disease and diabetes, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It helps us have a strong immune system. It helps reduce stress levels. How do we keep our microbiome healthy? We avoid foods that contain too many saturated fats, ultra-processed foods, too much sugar. If you think donuts, hamburgers, sugary sodas, fried foods, those are the foods to avoid. And the reason is these types of foods, which are called obesogenic foods because they make us obese, create microorganisms in our gut that make us sick. There's different types of microorganisms. We want to feed the microorganisms that make us healthy. If we eat these types of foods, it's going to create microorganisms in our gut that will make us sick. Ideally, we want to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but we don't always eat perfectly. So the solution is to bridge the gap with NeoLife's nutritional supplements. And again, specifically, I'm going to talk about our fiber tablets, our vegan D, magnesium complex, and our botanical balance. And again, NeoLife's products are versatile. They work on multiple systems in the body to help keep us healthy. Let's start with fiber, because talk about having versatility. Fiber does many important things in our body. Dietary fiber is hugely important for our health. Our NeoLife fiber tablets contain 2 grams of fiber per serving. They're 100% whole food derived. They contain rice bran fiber, oat fiber, barley flour, gum arabic from the acacia tree, soy fiber, apple pectin, and orange fiber. Now, what exactly is fiber? Fiber is part of fruits and vegetables and legumes and whole grains. It's included in a healthy diet. If people are eating a healthy diet, they're going to get fiber. However, most people are eating processed foods. And the first thing companies do when they process a food is they strip away the fiber. These are some of the things that fiber does for us. It promotes weight loss. It helps feed the friendly gut bacteria. It helps feed, it acts as a prebiotic, which means it's food for the healthy microorganisms in our gut. It helps with regularity. It helps reduce our toxin load. It lowers blood pressure. It helps us maintain healthy blood sugar levels. And it also reduces cholesterol levels. This is what dietary fiber does for us. There are 2 different types of fiber, insoluble fiber and soluble fiber. If you eat any type of food with fiber, you're going to get both types of fiber in the food that you eat. And our fiber tablets also contain both types of fiber, insoluble and soluble fiber. The World Health Organization recommends that we get 25 grams of both types of fiber per day. Now, insoluble fiber binds to toxins and carcinogens, the things that cause cancer, and it eliminates them through the waste. Soluble fiber acts as a prebiotic, acts as food for the healthy microorganisms in our gut. Now, both types of fibers help with weight loss. In fact, dietary fiber is a predictor of weight loss. And what this means, there was a study that came out just a few years ago. It was a large study. And what this study showed is that the more fiber people ate, the more weight they lost. And it almost really didn't matter what other food they ate. The more fiber they ate, the more weight they lost. Part of how dietary fiber helps us lose weight is it slows down the rate in which food is absorbed, and it makes us feel full longer. There have also been multiple studies on dietary fiber and heart health. And the researchers, for example, who studied dietary fiber and blood pressure, these are multiple studies, dietary fiber and blood pressure. The researchers themselves came to the conclusion that dietary fiber should be used as a treatment for high blood pressure because it's inexpensive and it's accessible and it works. Also, the research shows that fiber, specifically soluble fiber, reduces bad cholesterol, reduces LDL cholesterol. There's been multiple studies on dietary fiber and blood sugar. Now, if we have a lot of fiber in our diet, it will help prevent us from getting diabetes. But say we have diabetes. There's multiple studies that show that dietary fiber, even if someone has diabetes, acts as a therapeutic intervention for type 2 diabetes. That means it helps treat type 2 diabetes. It does this because it reduces diabetic complications, it improves the quality of life, and it helps people live longer. So again, dietary fiber can help prevent us from getting diabetes, but if we have diabetes, eating more fiber helps reduce diabetic complications, improves quality of life, and helps people live longer. And the researchers themselves say it can be used as a therapeutic intervention, as treatment for diabetes, type 2 diabetes. The body doesn't absorb and break down fiber, so fiber doesn't cause a spike in blood sugar like other carbohydrates. Now, again, the World Health Organization recommends 25 grams of fiber a day, and the traditional African diet is high in fiber. But African consumers have increased their consumption of ultra-processed foods in urban settings, in cities. 63% of South Africans live in urban settings. 63% live in cities, with an expected rise to 71% by 2030. And guess what? The more people that live in cities, and the more people eat like we do in the United States. More Western type diets, which means more ultra-processed foods and a decrease in fiber consumption. Now, our NeoLife fiber tablets contain both soluble and insoluble fiber. Again, soluble fiber acts as a prebiotic. It acts as food for those healthy microorganisms in our gut. It promotes intestinal function and it supports regularity. It contributes to a pleasant feeling of fullness when taken with water before a meal. It can be used to benefit a weight management program, and 4 tablets a day is equal to 2 grams of both insoluble and soluble fiber. This is a global product, and we have hundreds of testimonials from around the world on the benefits of NeoLife's fiber tablets. So to summarize, our fiber product supports a healthy gut by acting as a prebiotic, as good food for those healthy microorganisms in our gut. Plus, an increase in fiber intake will help with satiety, which helps with weight loss. It's a great way to help keep blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol in a normal range. Now, botanical balance also helps with gut health. Again, we know about botanical balance for regulating blood sugar. Now we know botanical balance can actually help with reduce the toxic effects of chronic stress. But botanical balance can also help with our gut microbiome. That's because the spices in botanical balance, the cinnamon and the curcumin, they act as prebiotics. They act as food, good food, for the healthy microorganisms in our gut. In fact, the research shows that cinnamon works just as well to improve our gut health as taking probiotics. I'm going to say that again. Cinnamon works just as well to improve our gut health as taking probiotics. Also, cinnamon has antioxidant properties which help support a healthy gut microbiome. Curcumin, which is the active part of turmeric, has been found to have a protective effect on the gut microbiome because it helps to get rid of the disease-causing gut bacteria, and it helps to increase the beneficial gut bacteria. Plus, curcumin helps support a healthy inflammatory balance in the body. These products, Vegan D and Magnesium Complex, I also consider to be must-haves when it comes to having a healthy gut. Let me tell you why. Magnesium increases gut microbiome diversity. It's important to have a diverse types of microorganisms in our gut, because some of those microorganisms help improve our immune function. Some of those microorganisms have antioxidant activity. Some of those microorganisms have anti-inflammatory activity. Some of those microorganisms help prevent chronic illnesses. So we want diversity, and magnesium helps to increase microbiome diversity. The studies show that if people are deficient in vitamin D, then this causes an increase in the bad bacteria in our guts. And the more bad bacteria or unhealthy microorganisms in our gut, then the more that we have digestive issues, the more we have increased weight gain and increased risk of chronic illnesses. So taking vitamin D helps increase the good microorganisms in our gut. Now, why take NeoLife's products? Why not just take someone else's vitamin D or someone else's magnesium or someone else's fiber? I'm going to tell you why. NeoLife is one of the only companies in the world that has a scientific advisory board. Most companies, maybe, yeah, most companies, maybe they have one person that creates their products and they're not always a scientist. Our entire scientific advisory board makes sure that our products are safe and effective and high quality. Most companies spend their money on marketing, which means they have very little money left over to actually put good things in products. So if you're buying a cheap product, you're getting a cheap product. Yeah. NeoLife we put our money in science, quality, safety, and efficacy. We want to make sure the products are safe and that they work and that they're the best quality possible. Now, we have had scientific advisory board members as part of the SAB for 30, 40, 50 years. And we've also added some new scientific advisory board members in the last several years. We added Dr. Liz Applegate several years ago. She is a PhD in nutritional science. She's also a sports nutritionist and has consulted for actually some pretty famous professional teams in the United States. She is a renowned professor at the University of California at Davis. And then a couple years ago, we added Dr. Todd Miller, who has a PhD in exercise physiology. He's a sports scientist, also a renowned professor at George Washington University. And then just this year, we added Dr. Abby Smith-Ryan, who is an exercise physiologist and a nutrition scientist, and she's a professor at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Dr. Abby has published over 190 scientific articles in the literature. She is an amazing addition to our scientific advisory board, and I know you're going to be seeing more videos from her and hearing more from her. She is amazing. Also, it's not, our products are different. What we put in our products is different from other companies. So it's not like we just put magnesium in a product and call it a day. No, we have a tri-mag blend of magnesium that provides 300 milligrams of magnesium, we use something called a double amino acid chelate. We bind the magnesium to glycine. So that makes the magnesium more bioavailable and absorbable. And this double amino acid chelate was actually developed by Dr. Arthur First many years ago. And we still use this method because it's one of the best ways to make sure that magnesium is absorbable. Also, our magnesium contains a phytomag blend. It's a proprietary blend of whole food beet, kale, broccoli, and radish. And this phytonutrient blend provides antioxidants, and it also provides a natural sources of magnesium. And NeoLife uses a 3D technology which ensures a rapid and complete disintegration, dissolution, and dispersion, which just means that our magnesium is absorbable and it's bioavailable, and it works. Our Vegan D, again, it's not that we just put Vegan D and we call it a day. Our Vegan D is a proprietary blend of 2 naturally sourced and whole food-based vitamin D ingredients. We combined vitamin D3 with vitamin D2. The vitamin D3 is from sustainably sourced lichen, which is also known as reindeer lichen, which is a food that's traditionally consumed by people in the Arctic countries. And then we combine that with superior quality mushrooms that contain naturally occurring vitamin D2. Our botanical balance is also unique because we have a clinically backed dose of cinnamon combined with curcumin and turmeric. Cinnamon is one of the most studied and proven ingredients for supporting glucose metabolism and for blood glucose, stabilizing blood glucose levels. Curcumin is that bioactive part of turmeric, and it supports the normal production and function of insulin. We also add the herb turmeric because it has many antioxidant properties and it provides a broad spectrum of phytonutrients that help to create an inflammatory balance in the body. We've also added a bioactive form of chromium from yeast, and we've included something called alpha-lipoic acid, which is a very powerful antioxidant, and it provides protection from free radicals, and there's several studies that show that it helps support healthy blood sugar levels. And as I said before, our fiber tablets, 100% whole food derived. They contain a unique blend of fruit, vegetable, and grain fibers. To conclude, the best way to supercharge your health is to take our foundational products, our Pro Vitality and our NeoLife shakes, and then to add on these 4 products: fiber tablets, Vegan D, magnesium complex, and botanical balance. And if you do this, it will increase your energy levels, it'll optimize your gut microbiome, it'll reduce the toxic effects of chronic stress, and it'll help you maintain a healthy weight. So I want to thank you all for listening today. I also want to thank you all for everything that you all do to get the word out about NeoLife. I want to thank you all for the work that you do to help people live happier and healthier lives. Thank you.